it was not only a rematch of last year's final, but also their meeting in Division 1A in February. Now, on that occasion, Tip blitzed their opponents in the first half at Nolan Park, but still managed to lose their game. Well, that capitulation would be set right today if they could manage to lift the trophy. The commentary in Semple Stadium was Ger Canning.
Tipperary's Seamus Callan was the scorer of 12 points in their Alliance semi-final victory over Clare. He also got 3-6 when the teams met in February. No change from a fortnight ago when Darren Gleeson returned in goal and Patrick Bonner-Marr notched two highly important goals. Callan, Conor O'Mahony and James Woodlock all have league winners' medals. Colin Fennelly's 3-5 from play in the team's last meeting 9 weeks ago was the performance of the league so far. He's joined in the starting 15 today by Joey Holden and Jackie Tyrrell, who sat out the semi-final win, while Kilkenny's third change sees Richie Power replace his brother John. In all, 4 newcomers to league final Sunday. It's Tipperary who won the toss, playing from right to left in the first half. Tips captain Brendan Marr gets it out, taken in by Paul Murphy, brilliant corner back play, one of the best around, twice an all-star, all the way down here as far as TJ Reid. Has an obvious pass to give, gives it to Michael Fennelly. Made a great start to last year's league final. Back outside here this time as far as Padraig Walsh. And Padraig Walsh, man of the match in the semi-final, puts it over the bar and Kilkenny get the opening point of the game. And that has come in the 3rd minute. Tip now looking to make a statement in the early minutes of this match. They've only had one shot at the target so far, that a missed opportunity. This is collected again by the impressive Brian Kennedy. Into the middle here as far as Richie Hogan. Off his left-hand side, it's a huge one. And he lands it, absolute beauty. A third for Kilkenny, a first for Richie Hogan. And they have made a very, very good start. And they're away to a flyer, and he's delighted. Darren Gleeson now again trying to place it. Again, it's a puck out which is intercepted by Colin Fennelly. This time then Woodlock goes back, collects it. Up here as far as Bonner-Marr. Man with the goal touch. Taking off, but going into a cul-de-sac, then losing it. 4 players surrounded him. Trying to pick it up here and trying to take it out. There was Padraig Walsh. One back nonetheless, however, by Noel McGrath. Gone in towards midfield. Back out here as far as John O'Dwyer. Scored early in the semi-final win. This time he gets one. After 6 minutes, it's Tipperary's first, and John Bubbles O'Dwyer, the 22-year-old, gets Tip's first score. Up towards Dennis Marr, hoping to make a big impression in this game. He was substituted in the semi-final against Clare. Bonner-Marr's in there as well with a white helmet, trying to dig it out of that ruck of players. Bonner-Marr now trying to pick it up, and he succeeds. He's a real bundle of energy. Back towards Kieran Bergen, hitting it off his left-hand side. They're 5-3 down, and there's 5-4. Just inside the left-hand post, Kieran Bergen managed to squeeze it in somehow. The Kilkenny half-back line standing firm. It's Killian Buckley trying to link up with a colleague there. Instead, it's Bonner-Marr, very much in the thick of the action, time and again here. Kieran Bergen freeing his midfield ally, James Woodlock, outside here, and the angle shot well directed by James Woodlock. And both midfielders for Tipperary have now scored in this match, and the teams are level for the first time since the start. This puck out down towards Noel McGrath, picked up by Niall O'Mara. O'Mara has a chance of a score here, and he puts Tipperary in front for the first time in this 2014 Alliance League final. His first score. It was a case of just waiting for the break to come. It came, he took off, and the rest was a lovely score. Well caught, beautifully collected back there by Cathal Barrett. Big one up towards Bonner-Marr, breaks back down instead here. Collected here by Niall O'Mara. O'Mara has a point for the taking here, and he puts it over the bar. A second for Niall O'Mara. The 21-year-old from Kilruane McDonough's has made it 9 points to 6 after 24 minutes of a very exciting Alliance League final. And Brian Cody there. Well, Kilkenny have had their period of dominance, then Tipperary, and now Kilkenny look to dominate this next third phase of the first half. But Brian Kennedy has been robbed here by Patrick Bonner-Marr, and Bonner-Marr completes the set. Everyone on the forward line for Tip has now scored. and it's 11 points to 8. James Woodlock, lovely turn. Calnan is the target. JJ Delaney can't get to it, not initially anyway. Then he's losing it. Bonamar again, trying to work his way in. Referee having a right good look at this one, allows play to continue. Niall O'Mara back across here to Kieran Bergen, steps away from trouble. Oh, good stop, brilliantly taken. And the follow-up by Bergen is a fresh air puck, and it enables Jackie Tyrrell to go back and take it. But that was a very good save by Owen Murphy. We still await the first goal of this match, and that was so very nearly it. Line ball taken by Noel McGrath. Floats in, it's in the back of the net, and it's John O'Dwyer. Second goal of this league. Scored here against Cork, but he got 1-7 that day. And a goal that has come after a half an hour from the sideline cut by Noel McGrath. And watch John O'Dwyer drifting in between defenders. Poor covering by Kilkenny. Nobody ran with him, and he had a clear view of goal and drifted in and scored brilliantly. Killian Buckley getting this one down. In here into the middle of the park as far as Lester Ryan. Down there towards Henry Shefflin, looks over his shoulder. Oh, mishit it into Mark Kelly, and Mark Kelly against Pádraig Maher. He's saying that there was a dive taken by the full forward, but the referee is in quickly, and it's a penalty. Here's Kelly again, taking off, storming in on top of the fullback, and the referee has given Kilkenny the benefit of the doubt. TJ Reid on the 13-metre line scores. It's come in the 35th minute. It means there are just two between them. That's as far as the 13 metres by the time he got to strike that ball. Not so much the Nash type, but the Reid style. And it's 1-11 to 1-9. And as they go in at half-time, it's a two-point game here. Half-time, Tipperary 1-11, Kilkenny 1 goal and 9.
For the kind of insight that comes from the heart of a true Gaelic Games fan, Martin McHugh, only in the Star.
Officer Coburn? It is I, Matty Ross, your employer. Can we depart this afternoon?
Wait, you are not going. That is no part of it.
The bank holiday movie True Grit, Monday at 9:30 on RTE1 and RTE1 HD.
Well, the rain has started to come down here during half-time. It's quite a damp afternoon now as Lester Ryan wins that first ball from the throw-in here. Richie Hogan. Lester Ryan now dropping it in, causing a moment of concern for Darren Gleeson. Back out here it comes. And the goal scorer, John O'Dwyer, down here towards James Woodlock, towards Noel McGrath. Coming across here is Seamus Calnan, looking for an improved second half. Back as far as Dennis Marr. Dennis Marr trying to get through two defenders. Killian Buckley, one of them, onto his right-hand side and over the bar. Good start. It's only taken 39 seconds of the second 35 minutes for Dennis Marr to get his second point of the match. And that has made it 1-12 to 1-9. It's attacked there well by Kieran Bergen. Back into the inside forwards, but this time Jackie Tyrrell gets there ahead of Bonner Marr. Forward once again it comes. And once again it's TJ Reid breezing in, and once more the referee blows his whistle and makes his way forward to signal a second penalty awarded to Kilkenny. The last time it was Mark Kelly who was fouled. This time TJ Reid with this wonderful catch up over Pádraig Maher's head, and then Pádraig Maher watched as Cathal Barrett came in and hauled down Reid, and the referee left with a fairly straightforward decision. Well, it worked the first time. TJ Reid beat Darren Gleeson and the two other players on the line. One of them is Pádraig Maher, the other seems to be Michael Cahill. Reid scored after 30 minutes. Again, same trick, onto the 13-metre line. Let's fly with devastating power. And the teams are level. Tipperary 114, Kilkenny 2 goals and 11. A penalty goal after 51 minutes. Blasted into the Tipperary net. And those 2 penalty goals are crucial. This one, it's picked up here by Garrod Ryan. Great ball, good vision across as far as Noel McGrath. Just about kept it in place. Team a point behind. McGrath strikes. McGrath looks at it. They all do, and it's gone over the bar. Pointed each half for Noel McGrath. Brilliant stuff. Great final. It's really picked up in intensity, and the teams level once more. Kilkenny 2-13. Tipperary 1 goal and 16. 11 minutes to play. From this puck out towards Walter Welch, didn't get to it, hasn't really got to the pace of the game just yet. Instead, it's Tipperary trying to advance there, lost by Shane McGrath, won back once again by Kilkenny, and McGrath goes after it, fired down there into the corner, down towards John O'Dwyer, and Bubbles looks up and sees it going over the bar. He's got a goal and 3. Tipperary are back in front again, ahead by a point. 117, that's 20 points, to 213, that's 19. And this clearance is out as far as Richie Hogan, totally unmarked. Kilkenny swing back into the attack once again. Owen Larkin back as far as Michael Fennelly. 2-3 in last year's final against Tipperary, and that is his first point here, and it comes in the 68th minute, and it means his team are ahead by the minimum, 22-21. The defending league champions are edging it at this stage. Back out it comes here to Richie Power. Swung across into the hand of TJ Reid. Laid up for Michael Fennelly. It's a point for the taking, and he puts it over the bar. He's got 2 in the last few minutes. 2 absolutely invaluable scores by Michael Fennelly, the 29-year-old former hurler of the year, from TJ Reid's pass, and he has made it 2-17 to 1-18. Tip needing a goal to try and win this league title. It's Jackie Turrell in there with JJ Delaney, Padraig Walsh as well. Here comes Burke, and Burke with a shot from the angle, and it's over the bar. There's still a pulse, there's still life in Tipperary. Shane Burke, late in the game here, his first point. 1 point the margin, 217 to 119, 23 to 22. What a second half. And it's Kilkenny who emerge with it. TJ Reid slipping it forward. They're intended for Richie Power. Can't get to it. There's a foul. There's a free. It was Brendan Maher who was fouled. His team 1 point behind. And this is Richie Power committing the offence there on Brendan Maher. It's all or nothing. It's John Bubbles O'Dwyer. He's on his own 65-metre line. He's having a go. Is it going to get over? Hits the post. Comes down to Shane Burke. Still a second or 2. Back out towards Bonner Maher. Feeding it across here. And it's over the bar. It's Kieran Bergen. We're destined for extra time. Finishes level. 23 points apiece. There'll be another 2 periods of 10 minutes each. At the end of the 70 minutes, it's finished. Tipperary 120, Kilkenny 2 goals and 17. Puck out lands 45 metres out from the Tipperary goal. Richie Hogan, not for the first time. He's got 4 in regular time, and he's now got 5. He's playing a really good game. Level once again. Back comes Seamus Callanan, and Seamus Callanan directs this one unerringly between the uprights, and that is his first point to come from general play. It's 7th in all for the afternoon, and it's 25 points apiece. 122 to 219. Intended for Colin Fennelly to go after, stayed on his feet here. Padraig Maher got the stick in, went after it and took it down. Dashing play by Padraig Maher. All the way back out here to 65 metres out from the Kilkenny goal. Slipped forward by Paul Murphy. Held on to here by Lester Ryan. Beats the block. got it in as far as Richie Power. Is there another one from the Cats? There is. Richie Power gets his second point of this match, and it's Kilkenny in additional time at the first period of extra time, who lead by 2 points now. And I imagine the next whistle we hear should be the referee's whistle for half-time, but not so. Garroyd Ryan back in here as far as Noel McGrath, and McGrath hits this one over the bar. There's another score. Some great shooting now by both sets of forwards. Noel McGrath with his 4th point. Out towards Garroyd Ryan. Ryan picks it up here, gets away brilliantly from Richie Power. Superbly in. Hurley's rising up for it. Bonner-Marr trying to get to it. Bonner-Marr still putting pressure on JJ Delaney. Loses it. Bonner-Marr takes off again, change of direction. Inside there to Calnan. And that ball has got off a defender and it's gone out for a 65. My goodness, very nearly in the back of Owen Murphy's net. From the puck out here is, once again, it's Richie Power who collects. Power takes off. Brendan Marr's after him. Power's lost it. Mickey Cowell got it away. Up towards Bonner-Marr. Collected instead here by Pádraig Welch. Pádraig Welch knocks it forward, intending to go after it himself, it appeared. Bonner-Marr goes after it. Then it's picked up by TJ Reid. Reid looks around for a support player. Pádraig Welch is that man. And Pádraig Welch fires it brilliantly over, like he's been doing this all his life. Instead, playing in his first league final, he's both the teams level for the 10th time. Can Kilkenny win it from here? Will Tipperary win the ball and get it downfield? Does any team deserve to lose this afternoon? I doubt it. It's been a marvellous match. Full credit to all of the players who participated. TJ Reid with 2 goals and 10 points has a sideline cut here. We're 30 seconds over the allotted time. Goes short in here towards Richie Hogan, back to TJ Reid. Reid advancing, Reid to score, and Reid's put it over the bar. He's got 2-11. Kilkenny are ahead by 1. They're about to win 3 in a row, it seems. Puck out quickly taken. Can Kilkenny hold out? They can. Down towards Richie Power once again. And there's no time left, it's all over. It's been a magnificent match, an absolutely wonderful game. Full credit to both of the teams. Nobody deserved to lose, but it's Tipperary who fall victim once again to Kilkenny here in the league final. Kilkenny win by 1, and the final score here is Kilkenny 2-25, Tipperary 1-27. What a day to be the Cats leader on the park. They are the champions of the Alliance League after a sensational match.
Well, I mean, in that kind of a game, it's a question of just staying going. And if either team were to bend the knee at all, you were gone. But neither team did that. Like, both teams kept going to the very, very end. The game was decided about the last puck of the game by 1 point. So it's a phenomenal game, really.
Yeah, drama between these two sides in February, and more of it today in Thurles. Now, Brendan Cummins and Eddie Brennan are here with us in studio tonight. Brendan, you'll beat them one of these days.
That'll be the plan, all right, yeah. And we came very, very close today. I mean, people talk about the National League and the shadow box and all, but one stage today, Eamon O'Shea was patrolling the line. You had Brian Cody inside in the Tipperary dugout. It was all happening on the field as well. Tip was supposed disappointed with the overall result, but they hunted in packs today. They had a huge amount of positives out of the game. Brendan Maher has really grown in at centre back now at this stage, and that was a big thing out of the game today. Kilkenny would feel, I suppose, that they were lucky that they hung in there all along the line. TJ Reid will say came up trumps from today as well. Richie Hogan and Pádraig Welch with a slow start came thundering into the game as well. And you know, in the finish with that bit of skill in extra time to win it, it was a fitting way to win the game. Where it was a great battle. Yeah,
I suppose, Eddie, all kinds of things will be read into this result. You know, Tip needed a win, kind of stuff, and so forth. But at the end of the day, like in a game where there's extra time, and as Brian Cody said there, just a point in it. You know, what can you read into it?
I think more than anything, and it's again what Brian will really take from today, is a show of character from your players, and I think both sets of teams went at it hard. I mean, I'd have felt, and I think the general consensus was that Tip needed to break the rush with Kilkenny. They needed to, you know, to beat them to get that kind of psychological barrier there. But again, when the dust is settled now and you look at it, you say Tip, you know, they'll be disappointed to lose that. But at the same time, they show good spirit. But for Brian, he'll be very happy with that kind of a match. You can't beat a good, competitive, intense match to really get you up to championship pitch. We are just on championship time. You don't want to bow to the neighbours.
Sure.
And I think they bring the best out of each other, and we saw that again today. It was a really competitive match right to the last puck of it.
Let's go back and look at aspects of this game, Brendan. And the first aspect perhaps we have to look at is, you know, Tip made a very good start to this game and looked very positive in it.
Yeah, Tipperary's work rate. They carried on, the forwards especially set the platform again, exactly like what they'd done against Clare. Bonner Maher was involved in everything, you know. Dennis Maher was putting pressure on the Kilkenny half-back line, coming out with it. But then when they won possession, they were very smart. Bonner Maher, as I say, was instrumental in most of the good things that happened today. James Woodlock running into space, and that was the way the Tipperary forwards had operated. They had the Kilkenny backline running towards their own goals for a lot of the game. And then we got the goal at the ideal time. Unbelievable skill from Bubbles. I mean, he's a player that, you know, for any young player watching, he didn't panic and rush in. He waited and waited, watched the flight of the ball, and a lovely flick to the net.
You'd have nothing but admiration for that. That's a real good forwards goal. I mean, I think that's a skill that's nearly gone out of the match, is someone able to connect on a high ball like that. I mean, DJ in his pomp was probably the last lad that you could think of, but you know, he timed his run well, and the Kilkenny backs just stood up.
But how many times have we seen it from Kilkenny? We noted this, Eddie, you and I down in Nolan Park in that game I mentioned in February, like when it was a hurricane they were having to withstand, and still hung into the game. Today, Kilkenny did the same. They stayed in the match.
Yeah, it's, as we were talking about earlier on, it kind of had, you know, tones of 2009 again, where Tip made all the run earlier on. But you know, we've a little bit of fortune too. You know, Colin Fennelly had a point given to him here, and when we look back on it, it was clearly wide. It disappeared behind the post, so that was a wide. And you talk often in matches about the yards, the inches to get you over the line. You know, Mark Kelly would say, yeah, look, he is fouled because he's trying to get through on goal, and it just hits Brendan Mark just gets a touch on it. But just before half time, we'd have said, look, Tip done all the hurling really. They had the Kilkenny forwards well tied up, but again, a couple of bits of individual brilliance. TJ and Richie today, you know, in the first half, they kept them tipping over. They got the few points from the frees, and they went in at half time when they looked as if they were going to be 6 points down. They only went in 2 points down. They could have been it could have been another one. TJ had a free miss. So there's a big difference when you go into your dressing room after doing all the hurling and find you're only 2 points up, whereas Kilkenny would have been probably on a bit of a high. And that's a big thing, you know. And they did, you know, change the flow of the match, certainly in Kilkenny's favour. At that time, it was a crucial time.
So it went to extra time, as we know. It came down to the last couple of minutes in it, Brendan. We all thought at that stage, this looks like it's going to be a replay, and we're figuring like what impact this would have in the championship. But Kilkenny closed it out towards the end. What did you see as the difference in those last few minutes between Kilkenny and your Tip lads?
Well, I think in the end of normal time, Tip will have an awful lot of learning from what happened. In the last 10 minutes, there were a couple of point scoring opportunities. We'll highlight one here where Shane Burke breaks inside. He does well to take on his man, but then it's the composure piece. We highlight Noel McGrath here, a simple hand pass out. Seamus Callan had an opportunity just after. And if we'd rolled it forward, Kilkenny would have scored a point. Here we have TJ Reid, lovely skill. Richie Hogan and TJ Reid, time stands still for that second. TJ Reid hits the ball over when TJ Reid is ready, not when Tipperary backs are. He made dead sure of it, and that's what got Kilkenny across the line today.
And that's the key. You know, it's a key to it. It's experience, and you know, in Kilkenny they've been talking. You know, Richie Hogan and TJ have been talked of. They're coming along. They're developing into really. They're starting to mature. And when you look at it today, you know,